Hey there guys, and welcome back to my landscape photography channel. Today's video I'm going to be talking a little bit about kind of like beginner photography gear and just photography gear in general, and how you really don't need as expensive of gear as I think a lot of people maybe think you do, especially when you're starting out, that you can kind of get some pretty good budget friendly gear, and that's all you really need to start out, and about just kind of like keeping your whole like kit a bit more simplified. And yeah, kind of sharing my thoughts about that, because my first few years of shooting, I just haven't had a lot of gear, and I feel like I've had plenty of good results with the gear I had. And it's actually very capable what you can do with just some of the more affordable camera gear you can buy now. So let's jump right into it. So this right here is the first mirrorless camera that I started out shooting with, and I still use this camera to shoot pretty much all of my vlogs that you'll see on my channel now. But this used to be my primary video and photography camera for like 2 years. And this is the Lumix G85. This is just the body, but I was using it with the 12 to 60mm kit lens that it comes with as well. And the crazy thing is, you can buy this brand new with the 12 to 60mm kit lens for like $700 US. And eventually I started to notice some limitations with this camera, but I feel like I got a lot of really amazing results with this camera, not only as a video camera, but it's a photography camera, doing landscape photography. I felt like it was just very versatile, and it kind of met most of my needs that I had. And I don't know, it's like, of course you'd compare the photos from this to like a higher a camera that was like a few $1000s, and you would probably notice the difference in like sharpness and detail. But if you're looking at it from far away or on a computer screen or whatever, you're probably not going to notice a difference at all. And that's kind of the cool thing about it, is that I feel like the cameras that are out these days, you can really just get so much out of them when they cost like less than $1,000 for a kit with a body and a pretty versatile lens, like a 12 to 60mm zoom lens. The way I talk about like different lenses and stuff you can get to complement your camera to use for different needs and stuff, which is great with like a mirrorless camera like this. You can obviously buy a whole assortment of lenses for it, but you don't have to do that from the very beginning. I mean, again, for the first like year and a half that I was shooting with this, I only used one lens with it, and that was a 12 to 60mm zoom. I didn't end up buying another lens, a second lens, until, yeah, over a year in. And about a year and a half into having that camera there, the G85, I ended up buying this 25mm prime here. Really mostly for just the f-stop range, because it goes down to 1.7, and the 12 to 60 obviously the only one went down to 3.5, and that also changed while you zoomed. So if you zoomed in at 25mm on that, you could only get down to like f4.0 or something like that. So if you want to get some nice blur in your photos, some bokeh as they like to call it, then this was kind of necessary for me to have. But it also kind of challenges you a bit, because you're stuck with a fixed focal length, which I think is a really great thing to do for your creativity a bit. You just have to be a bit more creative and move around a lot more when you're taking photos, when you're not using a zoom lens like the 12 to 60 and using a 25mm prime instead. Now this is going to be a 50mm full frame equivalent, and I find it to be a bit too narrow for like shooting general landscape photography. But if you're shooting more like details and some more like honed in subjects and stuff like that, I kind of like using it for those kind of photos. And it actually, I've gotten some really nice shots with this lens over the last couple of years. And yeah, I just really liked using that. And really, other than having this lens here, the 12 to 60 zoom, the only other thing that I was using very frequently with the 12 to 60, and even with this lens as well, is a variable ND filter that I'll use if I want to get some long exposures of moving water or clouds or in the sky or whatever. So variable ND is really nice to have. Like this one, I think it's like $40 or something like that. I believe this is K&F Concept is the brand, and it's been pretty good. This is only the second one I've had. Actually, it ended up really like scratching up and denting up the other one, and I bought this one. But I've had this one for like over a year now, and it's still good. So that's also a good thing. And then other than that, it's just having a tripod, which I have my camera currently sitting on right now. A MePhoto Road Trip tripod, I believe it's called, and it was like $160 US. I've been using it for a couple of years now, and I have no complaints with it. And my biggest thing with my landscape photography gear is to try and keep it as simple as possible, so I keep it as lightweight as possible, and I'm also not spending money on things that I just don't really need to, get the results that I want. Keeping weight down for me is very, very important. It's also partly why I decided to go with shooting micro four thirds instead of full frame, was simply because the lenses are just so much smaller. But that is a discussion for another time. So to summarize this video very quickly, if you're just starting out with photography, landscape photography, and you're kind of just wondering how much money you really need to spend to get like gear that's going to kind of give you the results that you need and what you need to learn on. Build kind of like a basis for your landscape photography going forward. You really don't need to spend a lot of money. You can easily buy a kit for less than $1,000 and have something that's going to last you for honestly like the first couple of years of you learning all about doing photography, and probably getting some pretty awesome results once you learn your camera very well and use it on almost a daily basis. Sometimes you're going to learn so much about it, and that's really more important than, you know, how much money you spent on the gear. And then also with that, you can always just upgrade and buy new lenses and stuff to complement the kit you already have, and that's going to do like wonders for your photos as well. So that's kind of all I have to say about that. If you did enjoy this video and like to see more videos about landscape photography, then feel free to subscribe to my channel below. Comment on the video if you'd like to have anything you would like to add, then leave a comment below, and yeah, I'll probably reply back to you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.